Good evening, everyone. Welcome to KG5 here in Glenorchy for Wednesday night footy, TSL style. Round 12, kicking off with Glenorchy and Lauderdale this evening. Should be a cracking contest, albeit with different looking sides tonight. A lot of star players not featuring in this match. My name's Brent Costello. Great to be here, bringing you the action tonight. Joining me in commentary is Chris Rowbottom. Good evening, Chris. How are you going?
G'day, Brett. Going well on a chilly Wednesday night here in the beautiful northern suburbs of Hobart. KG5, the scene, of course. Glenorchy and Lauderdale. And you mentioned the big names out tonight. You're not wrong. With some late changes as well, which we'll roll through in just a moment. But different looking outfits to what we've become accustomed to this year for both Glenorchy and Lauderdale, but still plenty of star power for both sides, and one of them making their way to the middle now for Glenorchy. He's been an absolute gem all season, Joshy Arnold, down in defence. I reckon he might have his work cut out for him again tonight. Lauderdale still with a very strong side in.
Yeah, they are. Let's go through those changes. This one of the more unusual ones. I spoke to the coach of Glenorchy, Paul Kennedy, this morning, and he did flag this late out. It's Ryan Banks-Smith, who has been really good for the Pies this year. Workplace incident, concrete in the eye. Had to have some surgery this morning or yesterday.
Might have
been late yesterday, and hasn't come up, but his eye's a bit sore. So,
hope he's okay.
Yeah, no, I think he's okay, just a little bit sore. So that's a big out for the Pies. And Riley Oakley comes in for him tonight. That's the only change for Glenorchy, but a couple for the Bombers, right?
Yes, Kaukovsky is out for the Bombers. Adrian Kaukovsky, he's replaced in the team by Sam Burge. And Josh Williams is also into the team, replacing Harry Richmond. So 2 outs for the Bombers, but 2 pretty handy ins, it must be said. Sam Burge, who hasn't been able to crack into this team, which says something about the quality of it, given he's a pretty good player. So he makes his way in, gets his chance in the lead up to finals, and Harry Richmond the other out, of course, as well. Josh Williams replacing him, small rebounding defender. So interesting changes as we see the Bombers break from their huddle, not far away from getting underway. How do you see this one panning out, Breno?
Yeah, look, Glenorchy have some star power out, we know that. So I think it might be a little tough for them tonight. A lot of youngsters in their side, and Lauderdale might be just a little bit too strong for the Magpies. A must-win for Glenorchy, though. They want to try and stay in touch with that top 4, and they must win tonight to do that. They've got a tough task against North Launceston this weekend as well, so must win for the Pies. But yeah, Lauderdale a little bit too strong, I reckon, right?
The inexperience of the Pies is what stands out to me. You got Goodsall and Meredith, Simpson, Thompson, Williams, Manson, Brown, Best, Blowfield, Nicholson. There's 10 names we don't know a heap about. They've all played a little bit of senior footy, all had a taste, and some a little bit more than others. But it's almost an unrecognisable Glenorchy side to what we're used to, but a real test against one of the real mature and tough teams of the comp, Lauderdale, aren't they? Yeah,
they are indeed. And Harry Richmond, you mentioned, a big out for them tonight. He's been in sensational form, up 4, kicking goals left, right and centre, so they'll miss him, but they've just got a lot of depth, Lauderdale, don't they?
Yeah, they certainly do, as we get just about all set to get underway. And if my eyes don't deceive me, Bruno, that might be Josh McGuinness starting in the centre of the ground.
Yeah, well, I spoke to him about this a week or so ago. We saw him have some midfield time in the last Lauderdale game I covered, and he's been pestering Darren Winter about that. We know how good he is in defence for the Bombers, but just as good in the midfield too, so great to see him starting there tonight.
Yeah, it certainly is, and Josh Arnold as well for the Pies, who we mentioned, the star defender. He's also in the centre square as well, so both these teams mixing it up through the middle of the ground with some key outs, but Guinness, I'm looking forward to seeing what he might be able to conjure. So here we go, first bounce, or throw up I should say. Take it away, Brent Costello.
Yeah, Havea in the ruck for Lauderdale, won it down, geared, gets it for the Magpies, and now slippery conditions, as you can see out there. A bit of rain about in Hobart today as we see Havea just try and get the footy away. Webster throws it on the boot, still inside the centre square here. Pack forms underneath the footy, punched away. The Magpies try and work it forward, but they go straight down the throat of the Lauderdale player. So slippery conditions, as I said. No rain forecast for the rest of the night as Lauderdale go inside 50 for the first time tonight. And the mark taken. So Sam Tilley has the footy. Yeah, no rain forecast for the rest of the evening, we believe. So that's good news as Lauderdale play on here. Ball is thrown on the boot. It goes to the square. Just manages to stay in, but dribbles out for a boundary throw-in.
So early foray forward by the Bombers. No score just yet. So Wednesday night footy. Here's a whistle. Something's occurred off the ball, and it looks like it'll be a Glenorchy free kick. So this one will go to the ruckman, Deegan, and it'll be against Havea in the middle of the ground. So if Deegan gets things moving immediately by hand, they flare it wide. Here's Blowfield. Still by hand here, the Pies. Geared, second touch of the evening, kicks up beyond a wing. This man in Rainbird had work to do. Poland attempts to go with the one hand, couldn't bring it under his spell, and you'll see it out of bounds for a throw-in. Left half forward for the Pies.
Been in good form, Will Poland, since switching from the Tigers at the start of the year. Enjoyed his work so far in 2020.
Yeah, been a good get for the Bombers this season as it comes in via the hand of the umpire. Havea got to the front, couldn't pick up the footy. Here's Walsh emerging from the pack, linking up through hands here, the Bombers. Little ground grubber through the middle of the ground. Sutton couldn't gather cleanly on the way past. Still they go in after it. Brennan was there. Walsh fighting hard as usual. Daly went low and got his man in the back. In fact, it'll come back to Walsh, who earned himself a free kick. Kicks towards half forward. Pretty well weighted pass. Here's McGuinness for his first touch of the evening. Little one off to Bell Chambers. Kick is misdirected, and the chop-off mark is taken by Meredith.
So Meredith goes to the wing here at KG5. Nice mark taken by the Bombers. Perfect conditions, really. A little slippery, as I said, but as far as the wind and the temperature goes tonight, not too bad here as they go inside 50. Mark taken again by Tilley, and this time he may go back and have a shot on goal. Decent crowd in tonight too for a Wednesday. School night, of course. Surprised to see you out, Chris, actually, on a school night.
Past my bedtime, actually. But I'm usually tucked up by now, but a good crowd. Couldn't get a park.
Always tough out here. As Tilley comes in, he'll kick just inside 50. Looks pretty good off the boot. Umpire doesn't move at all, and Lauderdale have the first of the night.
Yeah, good finish, Sam Tilley, who's worked his way into this team over the last couple of weeks. That'll get the confidence up, won't it? It's just a nice finish to start the game.
I'll tell you who hasn't been busy during the week, Rowan. That's the linesman here at KG5. Very hard to identify where the 50 arc is.
Well, things are tight during COVID, and the paint suppliers might just be running a little thin here at KG5. It's a big ground too, so you need a bit of paint to cover the turf. But you're right, it's tough to see. Maybe it's the luminance of those lights. They are just beaming here at KG5. They are very impressive lights as we go back into the middle again. Glenorchy working hard for a centre clearance. He's geared, prominent early. Little kick over the shoulder inside 50. Didn't really look where he was kicking. Gee, Roberts did well to gather the footy off the pack. Kick towards goal. Shaw met it on hands and knees. Handball out now to Poland. Gee, not sure what that was on the left boot. Maybe try the preferred in defence.
Hope he hasn't hurt himself.
He got up awkwardly, didn't he?
Yeah, he's just shaking that left foot out a little.
So deep in the Pies attacking zone. Deegan had to go and get it. He's immediately wrapped up by his Bombers opponent. Quick kick out of the congestion. He's offline, minor score. The Pies register their first of the evening. So they're one behind Lauderdale, 1 straight 6 with a 5-point advantage early in the first term.
Yeah, just gone almost 5 minutes here. As the Pies see it over the boundary line. What he made of the season so far of these two clubs, Ro?
Lauderdale pretty steady, I would have thought. Thereabouts, and I think they're going to be very much thereabouts again this season as they have been the last 3. Glenorchy probably not quite where they want to be, but being decimated by injuries. You only have to look at the outs tonight, the likes of Bowden and Camerick and a number of others who aren't out there for Glenorchy tonight. But a chance to blood some youth. They are still alive in the hunt for finals, and I think that race for 4th spot is going to be a really interesting one. Glenorchy, Clarence and Kingborough to round out the last of the final spots.
The ball comes back in. Goes straight over the back. Kick was tried on the foot of Siggins. Chance now for the Pies, though. The kick smothered off the boot. And now they have some time here. Poland takes the grab. Goes on pretty quickly and heads for the wing. Players fly for it. Picked up now by Dilger. Goes with hand to Brennan. He just tries to balk and weave around Nelson. Ends up going backwards. And now the Pies have it at half back. And with the footy is Blowfield, who gets it to Webster. Webster looks to go into attack, but it is all Lauderdale mopping it up is Baker. So just a bit of kick to kick here at the moment.
Yeah, the entries haven't been crash hot so far for Glenorchy. Short one is good here. Raglione, the football. Neat use to Sutton. He has a runner going past, and Lauderdale can bounce off half back. Handball over the top now to Bell Chambers, who initially overran it but managed to gather. A little short spearing ball is a pretty good one. Nelson in the long sleeves. Wheels around into the middle of the ground. Kick towards half forward to no one in particular. Will just bounce over the head of his teammate. Glenorchy now under the pump in defence, and Cleary was taken high. He'll take the free kick. Get things moving immediately out wide. Pies have the footy. Here's Blowfield. He's starting to cement a place in this Pies 22, although that kick wasn't his finest. Rundle to do the mopping up. Weaves through a couple of bombers and manages to just calm the farm. Find a teammate out wide. Poke kick over the top is good. Gee, Webster was collected high after the fact, and he didn't like the treatment. He gave his direct opponent one on the way past.
Walsh is down on his haunches.
And it was Bryce Walsh. And we know Zach Webster and this team have a little bit of history. I want to say off the top of my head a final a couple of years ago, Breno. Zach Webster. And I think this has been reversed.
Well,
so
might be Walsh that gets the kick then, is it? It's going. Not sure what's going on here.
Well, Josh McGuinness has the footy. He seems to think that it's a Lauderdale ball. It looks like it is. It's in the arms of Bryce Walsh now. So it was the retaliation from Zach Webster, who was initially taken high as he marked the footy. Didn't like the treatment. Decided to take Walsh high, and now the Lauderdale champ has a shot on goal. In he comes to kick their second of the evening. He's back on the kick and is unable to take full toll. So a minor let-off as a minor score is registered.
Rain's starting to fall here now at KG5. So not ideal. Pies to bring it in now. Kick is not great at all, and it's immediately chopped off. And the man to take it is Josh Williams. He'll go back. Yeah, the late inclusion tonight. One of two for the Bombers, of course, with Kowalkowski and Harry Richmond out of this side. So Josh Williams will kick. We're right behind this one here in the commentary box. We'll know straight away what it looks like, and that's gone way left. Might even make the journey. It's picked off by Webster right on the last line of defence and through for a rush behind.
So Webster in the thick of things early. Fiery customer, Zach Webster, that's for sure. But they like it in his hands, and that's exactly where it is now. Short ball into the pocket is good. So Lauderdale doing the bulk of the attacking so far. Kick comes out towards the commentary wing. Pat flies, nobody able to take the mark. As you mentioned, that rain starting to tumble. So greasy footy presenting to the players. Bill Chambers goes in hard. Feeds out a handball. Here's Burge, another one of those inclusions. He fed it to the outside. Gee, it's just bobbling and bouncing around. Kick eventually comes. There's a sweeper, though, in defence for Glenorchy. No one in the middle of the ground on the end of the kick. Over the head of Francis. Gee, that was wonderful work from Poland out of defence. Showed some candy too and drives Lauderdale forward, and it'll just skid over the boundary line.
Not bad skills in the wet from Will Poland.
Fantastic from Poland. Attacking the footy with vigour.
Very sharp. We just got a glimpse there of Fergus Kenny too, right?
Good
Might
name.
be a new cult figure in the TSL.
Really good name. Ferg. In it comes. So deep in Lauderdale's attacking 50. Can they register something here? Kick out of the congestion from Heavey is high towards goal. Mark unable to be taken in the square. There's a free kick. And it's going the way of the big man, Tute Havea.
Yeah, he's a big presence down forward. We know that for the Bombers.
He's just that typical big forward that just worries defenders out of it, and defenders just find themselves giving away free kicks because they panic a little when he's in the vicinity. Makes no mistake, there's Tute. Lets his opponent know about it too. No remonstration this time, probably a wise move from the youngster. So Lauderdale have their second, they're 2-2-14. Glenorchy 0 goals, 1 behind.
A nice early lead here, particularly given the wet conditions around. So I don't think, as I said earlier, too much rain was forecast after 6 and 7 o'clock tonight. So
it's just a fine drizzle, isn't it? It's not
another
rain,
whistle
so to
here.
speak. We do.
And free kick going to Glenorchy, I think. So something's happened there in the middle. So
it's still on between Havea and it might be young Goodsall after that goal. I'm not sure where the free kick has come from.
It's going to Deegan by the look of it.
It's just hard to judge here where the players are setting up. You're right, though.
So Deegan will have it for the Magpies. He goes high in the air. It'll just go inside 50. Mark not taken, coming through a pack of Lauderdale players. No one can get it out, though. Ball's wrapped up for a ball up. Hayden Smith there. He's been in good form too for Lauderdale. He and Deegan go at it. Here is Daly. And might be a free kick paid here as well. It is. It's going the way of Callan Daly.
He might have been just held without it.
The Eddie Betts of the TSL, he was described as.
I saw that.
By his coach.
A touch, a little bit of mayo perhaps, but
didn't mind it.
Fine player in his own right.
Absolutely. He was good out here on our last stream game. Kick 3. He's going to kick from right on 50, Callan Daly. That's probably not going to quite have the journey. It does just.
Not bad legs in the end.
Just through for the minor score.
So Daly registers his first score of the evening. Not the one he would have liked, but he's been involved. Speaking of involved, here's Bryce Walsh. Kicks towards the commentary wing, looking for Siggins. Fist came. Bouncing ball back into the Bombers' defensive area. They clear towards the wing. Pies have the numbers. Kick coming from over the top. Little handball was a good one. Kick around the corner. Just edging it forward here, the Bombers, but the trusty hands of Arnold to Rainbird now. Back up the line they go. Contest forms. Half fly came from Francis, Bell Chambers, who's been busy. Kick into the middle of the ground to Walsh. Forward they go again here, the Bombers. Where's Havea? Oh. There he is. Just lost his man.
And a free kick against.
So Cleary
pushing the back.
The free kick for a little nudge. Thought that looked relatively okay. Cleary, middle of the ground, a stinker. Turns it straight over to Nelson. So a second chance here for Lauderdale. He opts to go a little wider this time again in the Havea direction, and this time it might be Tute that gets the free. He was dragged down as he attempted the mark.
Alex Heavey just getting him away from the action there, Havea.
We've seen one kick overturned so far.
Look at Bryce Walsh there on screen, just stretching out his legs.
He'd be up to 5 or 6 early ones. Tute with a second shot on goal for the evening in the space of a couple of minutes. So it seems they have made the move with Cleary going to him. But it's Tute Havea winning the battle thus far as he lopes on in. Does the big man. He'll kick from about 40 metres, sends it on its way. Journey, absolutely no trouble at all. Tute Havea kicks his second. And Lauderdale have an early break. They're 3-2-20. Glenorchy Yet to score a goal, just the 2 behind.
That's what he can do when he gets off the chain. He's hard to stop. So Glenorchy's defence have got real problems there at the moment, trying to contain Tutai Havea. Of course, the rugby background in and out of this Lauderdale team over the last 5 or 6 years, but love watching him play when he's on song.
He's a beast, that's for sure.
So 3-2-20. Off to the early lead here, Lauderdale. Glenorchy 2 behinds. We restart in the middle. Deegan wins it down, and now this might be a good opportunity for the Pies to go long inside 50. It is. A good mark, though, taken by Baker.
Defence has been really good, hasn't it?
As indeed. Baker tries to spot a target. It's cut off by Webster. And now the Bombers are away through Bell Chambers. Love watching him play as well. Been a great player for Lauderdale. Here's Havea again out the back. Just tries to shrug off Arnold. He does. Gets the kick away in the end. Josh McGuinness there to mop it up. And he'll go back and have a shot now from about 45 metres out, slight angle.
I thought Arnold actually did really well there to force the miss kick. It was just unlucky for Glenorchy that Josh McGuinness was in the right place at the right time.
Speaking of people in good form, this man is one of those. Certain spot in the team of the year coming up for Josh McGuinness, you'd think. So right in front basically for Josh McGuinness. Liked it straight away off the boot, and that's Lauderdale's 4th of the night.
Yeah, one of the players of the year, Josh McGuinness, isn't he? And unbelievable intercept player down back, and just, if you don't mind, thrown into the midfield, and now he's kicking goals. So headaches for opposition teams, that's for sure. Former Brisbane Lion, of course.
Some breaking news about Tasmanian footballers tonight. You're telling me Chris Ben Brown potentially...
Well, former Glenorchy player.
That's right.
Mind you. He won't be at the Roos next year. News is all but confirmed. So it'll be a must-watch for Tasmanian footy fans over the off-season to see where Benny Brown, the much-loved Benny Brown, we might say, whose brother is actually playing tonight for Glenorchy, Dom Brown. Haven't called his name yet. So free kick here will go the way of Glenorchy. So Riley Best with the footy. He's on the commentary wing. He'll send Glenorchy inside 50. Little kick is a good one. And here he is. So as if on cue. Oh no, this isn't him. Apologies. It looks like
it's Callum Thompson, Chris, and he's looks like gone short here. Gone to Geared.
I got excited.
He did. I enjoyed it.
Thought Dom Brown was going to go back with the routine, and sadly wasn't to be. John Geared, he's been a good player for Glenorchy this year. More midfield time, and he comes. Just went the left foot outside of the shoe from
Very
there.
interesting choice.
Was that on purpose? It looked to be.
I don't think
The way it
would have had to have
through
been.
the air,
It would have had to have been on purpose.
Premeditated. I'm not sure about that from John Geared. Gee,
Danger
Turnover here.
Roberts throws it on the boot. Looks like it's... a big fly from Rainbird. Back in the team tonight. Ball to ground, and a ball up will take place. Action-packed minute or so there. Stuff going on everywhere. So the ball up. Deegan and Smith again. Coming through is Rainbird. Ball still alive here. They're getting it out is Bell Chambers, who throws it on the boot. And a mark taken. It's Nathan Blofield. Tries to spot a target, but it's all Lauderdale. Baker again, who's been brilliant down there in defence for the Bombers tonight. So 4-2-26 plays 3 behinds. We've gone just on 20 minutes in this opening term, so won't be too much longer left in this quarter.
Yeah, Baker and Poland, the two generals in defence tonight, have repelled everything so far. So we just wait that big fist.
Lost the ball.
It's been punched down into KG5 Soccer Park. Retrieve the footy. So We're back on here. KG5 out of the ruck. Players go at it. Sutton laid the tackle. Chased after his own work. It's Daly on hands and knees. Pocket rocket trying to just win some footy. He'll go out of bounds again for another boundary throw in. No real breeze to speak of either. Maybe a slight.
Yeah, normally when I've been out here calling games, it's been blowing a gale, so pretty happy with how it is tonight, to be honest.
Daly straight out of the ruck. Got it off to Arnold. Kick inside 50 now. There's those two tall towers for Lauderdale, but Rainbird was at the fall of the ball. Got it off to Geared, missed his boot. Might have got his man in the back. Umpire said no. Still working hard here, the Pies, but Bell Chambers will emerge with the footy and clear defensive 50. Good kick to Williams. He plays on by hand to McGuinness. He's back in defence now after a little gallop through the midfield. Still in Lauderdale hands now. Williams back to Bell Chambers, so he looks to be playing across half back as well. Switches on here for Lauderdale. They're on the other side now. Sutton with the footy, and that is a shank. Side of the boots.
Will Francis was all on his own here on the wing right in front of us, so that would have been away, Lauderdale, but a rare mistake from Reece Sutton, who's a very, very good footballer.
The boundary throw in deep stages of this first term. Lauderdale with a 23-point advantage here at KG5 Wednesday night footy. There's Bryce Walsh, who's all wrapped up.
Such a good team, Lauderdale, aren't they? I mean, if North Lonnie wasn't in the comp, this team probably would have won a few flags of their own, but they've just run into a really good footy team this last 3 years or so. They've been in the grand finals as Rundle gets a little handball away, but shouts for deliberate.
The thing about Lauderdale is they've always had that core, haven't they? That Bell Chambers, Walsh, Franklin. They've always had a core, sort of 6 or 7 or 8 guys. Sutton's another one. McGuinness of late. Hayden Smith. Vaya's been there a fair while now. A really strong core of good players who have remained faithful. Webster rode the tackle. Little tumbler inside 50. It'll work to Daly. He's had 1 shot on goal already tonight. Distance wasn't a problem on that occasion. He's thinking about sizing him up. He eventually elects to go short to Webster. This will take his best. He's a booming kick of the footy.
Good build on him. Look at him.
He's in good nick, isn't he?
He's really a good nick.
He's certainly trimmed up and perhaps put on some muscle. So Webster, important kick this. To bring it back to a 17-point quarter-time margin. What can he conjure here? Beautiful kick of the footy. Gee, leans back on it and he's threaded the needle. So on the buzzer, Zach Webster comes up clutch for the Pies and reels in that margin ever so slightly. An important goal on the quarter-time siren. Lauderdale 4-26, lead Glenorchy 1-3-9 at the first change. How did you see it, Brent Costello?
Well, you called it well, Ro, because that is a very important goal. Just makes that margin a little less, doesn't it? And gives you that boost going into the quarter-time huddle. So I think it's gone as we expected so far. Lauderdale look pretty much on song. Their defence has been outstanding. We spoke about that. Baker, Poland, Havea damaging up forward, of course. So a few headaches for Paul Kennedy and his coaching staff to deal with at quarter time, but they're in touch, the Maggies, and that's what matters at this stage of the game.
Yeah, they certainly are in touch, and that Webster goal all important just to keep them in touch. I suppose you don't want things blowing out early, of course, but that Lauderdale defence has been magnificent. I really like Poland and Baker's attack and dare out of the defensive 50, and Bell Chambers as well has used it very nicely. A little bit of spice as well, some really argy-bargy. Bryce Walsh involved, of course, as he is every week. Zach Webster there too, and Havea as well was animated early in the piece. But we don't mind that as long as it's all clean and above the belt.
That's exactly right. We might take a short break here for quarter time and be back with more Wednesday night footy on your TSL live stream very soon. Well, welcome back to KG5. Second quarter action coming your way on a Wednesday night, TSL round 12. It is Lauderdale leading Glenorchy at quarter time, 4-2, 26 to 139. Rain just picked up again here. Not too cold though, not too bad tonight temperature-wise, but slippery conditions out there for the players. Brent Costello and Chris Robot, I'm with you on the broadcast tonight. Ro, what did you make of that first quarter for those just joining us?
Greasy, slippery conditions, a little bit of spice early on in the contest at Lauderdale with all the early running. Some interesting player movements, I suppose, or positioning. We saw Josh McGuinness start in the centre of the ground, as he looks like he's going to start the second quarter in there as well. Josh Arnold as well for Glenorchy starting in the middle of the ground. Callan Daly's gone into the midfield too. But the story for me was the Lauderdale defence. Poland and Baker down there just repelling multiple Glenorchy attacks and providing some dash and some rebound as well. And Phil Bell-Chambers was really good too. Walsh had plenty of it. And Geards tried pretty hard as well early on for the Pies. Zach Webster, of course, kicked the goal on the buzzer. Glenorchy were goalless for the term before Zach Webster slotted the set shot after the siren from deep in the pocket. So all set here. Brent Costello, take us away, second term.
Waiting the bounce. There it goes. Deegan and Smith. Smith won it down only as far as Geared, though, who races out and kicks the ball towards Glenorchy's attacking zone. Bouncing. Picked up by Baker. And there's that defence linking up well again. Poland hits a target in McGuinness. Arnold landed in the back of McGuinness. He decides to go and find his teammate McManus, another veteran of this Lauderdale team. McManus centres the footy. It might be dangerous, and the mark taken nicely by the late inclusion tonight. Riley Oakley looked to handball it off, but made back himself in now. So got the call up for Ryan Banks-Smith tonight. Riley Oakley throws it on the boot, won't make the journey, goes to the top of the square, ball punched through for a minor score.
Concrete in the eye, workplace incident.
That's what I'm hearing, Chris.
News
yes.
As per at Brent Costello on the tweet. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, it's nasty. I hope it. I'm not an expert, but I just wonder about concrete in the eye. So play resumes out of full back. Go the Bombers. Finding hard ground level. Daly won the handball and fed the handball out. Inside forward 50 they go again here. Glenorchy.
Oh.
That's a really strong mark taken by Rainbird.
He's lost the helmet too.
He's lost the helmet. And the mitts was sticky on the way down.
Good mark in the wet.
That's a terrific mark with the greasy footy. Chance here to keep Glenorchy second and two in a row. So Mitch Rainbird at his best is one of the competition's best midfielders in my opinion. He comes, just leans back on the kick a touch and it misses to the left-hand side. So minor score. Chance goes begging. They've kicked 1-5 now, the Pies. 1-5-11. Lauderdale 4-2-26. Dicey kick in. Another chance here for Rainbird, but Lauderdale will emerge with the footy. Still just dicing with danger. Looking for Williams. Has to go in after it. Fed up the handball. Here's Bell-Chambers. Taken down to the tackle. Was good enough to get the handball out, but this Glenorchy pressure is exceptional to start the second term. Daly feeds it back to a teammate. He'll have to retreat a little further, and he does so successfully. So Glenorchy ball here on centre wing. Slightly indecisive, but works his way through it. Receives the handball, and that was well done. The kick was looking for a teammate at right half forward. Couldn't find the man in Thompson. They'll go out for a boundary throw in. So Glenorchy here, just a little patch to start the second term. Attempting to lock it in, force a score, and it comes. Deegan and Smith to battle in the ruck. Rundle gathered the footy. He was tackled. Hands and knees now. Walsh emerges with it, gets a handball out to his running mate in McGuinness. Tumbler towards forward 50 for Lauderdale. Hacked out of the air by Webster in defence to no one in particular. It was dangerous, but Roberts did pretty well. Hands and knees stuff, gathers the footy and kicks inside 50, but gee, guess who once again going back was Baker, and the Glenorchy player's been put down.
Free kick reversed too, it seems. So Glenorchy will have a shot on goal. It'll be Mitch Rainbird. So I didn't quite catch what happened there, Ro.
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at my notes there.
Anyway, Glenorchy will have the shot on goal. They currently trail this one by 15. So Mitch Rainbird converts here. Gets them right back into contention.
So Rainbird, a second shot on goal in as many minutes. Can he make amends for that miss a moment ago? In he comes again, sends it through distance again.
Missed
no
a lot.
Troubles, but he has missed a lot, so hasn't made the Bombers pay with 2 early set shots on goal.
Rain just eased for the moment, but as we say, slippery conditions out there for the players to deal with. Smith couldn't hang on to the mark. Webster throws it on the boot, goes inside 50, ball bouncing. Roberts is there, but cleaned up by...
I'll be in the back.
Caught one in the head there. And here we go. Umpire's already blown the whistle. So waiting for the ball to emerge here. And the player with the footy is Will Francis. It's a dangerous kick from Francis. Goes straight down the throat of the Glenorchy Footy Club. And they'll have another shot on goal. They're doing all the attacking here to start this second quarter. John Geard now will have a shot directly in front.
We've praised their defence all through the first term, but the use this term has been poor.
John Geard, been a regular fixture of this Glenorchy side for a while now. Directly in front, 40 metres out, makes no mistake, and the Pies are back. 4-2-26 now to 2-5-17. The lead cut back to 9 points.
Well, they finally made them pay, didn't they? They were given 3 chances to do so, and it took John Geard, who, as you say, he's been super reliable through the midfield this year for Glenorchy. He's a good player. And this time he picks off the pass and finishes. So, yeah, this margin, 4-2-26, Lauderdale, 2-5-17, the Pies. So, creeping ever closer, Glenorchy have started this second term really well.
Look pretty relaxed, Darren Winter, running up after the quarter time huddle. May not be as much now.
No. There's a Lauderdale player down in the middle of the ground. Another incident that I just didn't catch out of the corner of my eye, but not emerging quickly, that's for sure.
And Hayden Smith?
Doesn't appear like the umpire's seen anything either. Now, I'm not sure if this is an injury incident or if it was an opposition player.
Well, they're without a ruckman at the moment. It's Hayden Smith that's down, so it's like Sam Siggins probably going to stop the game anyway.
Yeah, while he calls for stretcher. So he looks in a bad way in the middle of the ground here, Hayden Smith. Again, just didn't quite, the ball had left the area.
Well, this is terrible news if the stretcher's coming out.
Yeah, this is one of the premier big men in the comp, isn't it? Hayden Smith. And a big key for Lauderdale. He's their go-to ruckman in the middle of the ground. And that's exactly where he is at the moment. And he looks to be in a little bit of trouble.
Darren Winter making his way down to the boundary to see what's going on here. And he's not a happy man.
He slammed the gate behind him.
Players coming to the boundary now to chat to him, and he looks filthy.
So maybe he's seen something that we haven't. So Darren Winter here, if we just maybe if you could just see in the corner of your screen, addressing his players.
And in the centre, Hayden Smith still down. Chris Rowett, I'm just trying to get an ear on what Darren Winter's saying.
Just taking the cans off to see if we can pick up anything. He's not too far away from us here in the commentary position, but we're just a little maybe out of range. But
this is, tough news for Lauderdale fans because Hayden Smith's such an important part of this team.
Yeah, it's That's a bad one. I've just had a look through the binoculars, and that's a lower leg. That's a really bad lower leg.
Yeah, nothing's happening too quickly here, so
that's awful news for Hayden Smith and the Lauderdale Footy Club.
So we pause here at KG5. The score 4-2-26 to 2-5-17.
So the news here is that Hayden Smith, the Lauderdale ruckman, is down in the middle of the ground. Looks to be a bad injury to his lower, I think it might be his right leg.
Yeah, just watching his face now, and yeah.
We're trying to get a closer view through the binoculars here as we try and update you on what's happening. The game has paused for the time being. Both groups are in their huddles, and the way things are looking, we might not see a resumption for a few minutes yet. The stretcher is in the middle of the ground, and as you can see, the bulk of the Lauderdale staff, doctors, physios, I'm sure a couple of assistant coaches are out there too, just watching on over Hayden Smith, who is in a fair bit of trouble with a lower leg injury. We don't know exactly what it is, but I can tell you it does not look good.
Yeah, without going into too much detail, what we see through the binoculars, yeah, it's tough to see.
Yeah, such a shame, a real shame. Yeah, as we mentioned, one of the real gun big men in the competition, and someone who gives this midfield. You talk about Bryce Walsh and Bell Chambers and these guys, but sometimes you're only as good as your ruckman, aren't you? And gee, gives them some good service. Has done for a number of years now. We don't actually know how this injury has occurred. I don't want to speculate, but it would appear he's landed awkwardly somehow.
We look out there, and again, we both missed the incident. We were calling the play, but it's the centre square there where the cricket pitch is. So you'd imagine it would have been quite hard, potentially.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, it has had a fair bit of rain in recent weeks, and it's fairly wet tonight, and it's generally pretty soft out there. I know, if we're going back 10 years maybe, it used to get pretty claggy and sticky in the middle of KG5, but they've definitely patched that up in recent years, and it looks a lot better than what it once did.
So Hayden Smith now on the stretcher and being carried off here at KG5 after, a really bad injury, it seems. Crowd start to applaud him as he makes his way off the ground here. So our thoughts are with him as he no doubt heads off to hospital tonight.
Yeah, certainly thoughts with him. It's heartbreaking for a gun player of the competition. And I'm sure a lovely fella as well. Right on the eve of finals, as we see the Lauderdale teammates get around him and give him the little show of support as he leaves the field. As we know, a popular bloke amongst the Lauderdale faithful and across the competition, as well as the away fans clap their ruckman off. Let's just hope that it's hopefully somehow not as bad as what we were seeing.
We don't have access to the replay here, but someone that has said it looked like he might have been shoved off and landed awkwardly on his ankle. So, yeah, tough news.
Yeah, it'll be certainly worth having another look at just to see how it all occurred. But one thing's for sure, Hayden Smith is out of the game for tonight. We will have a restart here at left half forward. So back into the action here. Williams hands it off to a teammate. Off the side of the boot, though, the left foot kick from Nathan Oakes. Out of bounds on the full. So footy in Glenorchy hands. Up the line it goes. Maybe just worked his man underneath it. It'll be seen out of bounds, though, by Thompson. How does that change things in terms of Lauderdale's hunt for a flag this year, Breno?
Well, yeah, it hurts, doesn't it? As you say, one of the premier big men in the competition. He'll be a huge loss. And yeah, that's a real stinger for them, but they need to put it behind them now, I guess, and focus on this match because, as we saw, Glenorchy came out red hot to start that second quarter. They've cut the lead back to 9 points, and it's become a bit of a danger game, I guess, for Lauderdale here.
Still fighting hard here, the Bombers. This defensive unit has been pretty impressive all night, although their use has left something to be desired in this second term. It bobbles outside of defensive 50. They just edge it forward here to Lauderdale. That was a high tackle on Roberts. Coming from Oakes, who hasn't been heavily involved in this game so far, but we're looking to work in. It goes inside 50 again for the Pies. Man of the pack. Oh. Gee, roved it beautifully. Got boot to ball.
Goal umpires running out here. Chat to the field umpire.
They've been called a behind here by the field umpire. No score review or ARC technology here in the State League, so they'll have to make a call on their own accord. And
out the full.
Boundary umpire has pulled rank, said it was out on the full. So in it comes. Lauderdale ball. Flyer was Nelson at the front. Siggins off hands. Little kick forward. Blowfield gathered. Back to Brennan, who got it to Arnold. He has it middle of KG5. Right foot kick. Flares things towards half forward. Looking for Deegan, who just collected his man on the way down. Umpire said play on. Not sure about that. Webster handball to nobody in particular. Siggins goes low and gets after it, only as far as a Glenorchy opponent. Tumbler inside 50. The roll out of bounds in the left forward pocket for the Pies. The 2-5-17, trailing Lauderdale still 4-2-26, who haven't scored so far in this second term.
So we await the boundary throw in. In it comes now. Siggins into the ruck for the Bombers. Ball goes to ground here. Umpire blows the whistle. So yeah, they'll be relying on Sam Siggins now in the ruck tonight. Up it goes, Rainbird from behind. Helmetless, as we said. Kick away, and that's a shocker off the boot. And Magpies will get the footy here. And Cal Daly will be the man with the footy. And this will be in range for the little man. Had a few shots on goal tonight already, but yet to register a major. This to cut the lead back to just 3 points. The little master, Callan Daly, comes in, and that is offline. A minor score. So the lead now 8 points in favour of the away team, Lauderdale, and tight turnaround for them, of course. They've had a tough few days. They went up to... This ball's been punched out of bounds. Yeah, a short turnaround for the Bombers up at UTAS Stadium against North Launceston on Saturday. Fronting up here again tonight. And then Glenorchy will have to deal with their short turnaround now, and they'll play a game here on Sunday against North Hobart. I don't mind the midweek concept though, Ro. I know it's not ideal for teams, but for the average punter like you and I, this gives you something to do on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, it does. You might need a little bit more incentive to pack up the kids and get them in the car and for a bit of State League footy. You might need
the live stream's perfect though, isn't it? You can sit at home.
The stream's fantastic on a Wednesday night, that's for sure.
Entertaining, I've been told.
Webster has it inside 50, go the Pies. G2. Lauderdale plays friendly fire. The big fist came across and
both still down.
Both are still down. So carnage here amongst the Bombers. Again, it might have been Bill Chambers was one of the players flying across.
Well, carnage here, as you say, Chris Rowbottom, and Daly has the ball.
Another player on his haunches too. So
goodness gracious me.
The trainer's working overtime. for the Bombers tonight. Cullen Daly just unfazed about proceedings.
It's not McManus.
It might be McManus as Daly comes in, sends a right foot ball on its way. He's missing. Glenorchy inaccurate tonight. They're kicking themselves out of this one, you feel. 2-7.
McManus and Baker, I think, are the two players.
Still looking very proppy. So as it stands, Lauderdale actually 2 players down on the field and 3 overall. Oh, they look okay now, so not coming from the field, which is good to see. Another entry for Glenorchy, who've dominated proceedings in this second term. Daly's going to go after it again. Picked up, fed out onto the outside. Handball. Daly eventually ends up with it. Falcon into the face of it, a Lauderdale player. Here's Goodsell. He just drives it in once again to a dangerous spot. All Lauderdale, though, more friendly fire. They just keep getting in each other's way. Here's Bill Chambers, rebounding from defensive 50. Kick into the middle of the ground in the Havea direction. It was off hands. Coming through now a swathe of Magpies, but the Glenorchy players were more than met their match with the Lauderdale defenders, who have provided good bounce all night. This kick from Poland, though, bounces out of bounds in the right forward pocket for the Bombers.
Rare inside 50 for Lauderdale this quarter.
And they haven't had a sniff, have they?
Been all the Magpies. It was all smiles in the Lauderdale huddle at quarter time. They started the game pretty well, and then all hell's broken loose since, unfortunately for them. Heavey dragged down, and that is not a free kick. It's like, I think it was Bryce Walsh that might have copped one high, but it will be a ball up. Not happy with that, Bryce Walsh. Bit to say there to Josh Arnold. As it goes up again, Havea had it all to himself. Kick off the boot of Nelson is offline.
Might have been Oakes.
Oakes, sorry.
That's their first score of the term, Lauderdale. But Glenorchy have not cashed in on that fact. They have the footy now, though. Now they don't, as it's been turned over. Straight down the throat of Sutton, who he's just owned a wing for Lauderdale in the last 4 seasons, hasn't he? Been a really good player. A few grand finals, no premierships, of course. Handball over the top in the Burge direction, who gathered the footy. He was immediately wrapped up by his opponent in Manson. Off the deck, kick towards goal. Scrambling forward the Bombers. This one hits the post. So starting to press now.
So Glenorchy with the footy. They've done well this quarter. 28 plays, 19. Can have a long quarter here as well. The kick comes in. Mark taken by Nicholson. Opts to go wide to the captain, Josh Arnold. He comes right in front of us here on the wing. Ball bouncing out the back. Bell Chambers. Handball's off to Poland. Gets it back to Bell Chambers. Dangerous hand pass. Raglioni slips over, gets it to Sigginzo, who quickly throws it on the boot. Rundle's there, couldn't mop it up. Heavey now. Looks to go inside 50 and does. Havea, not this time. Ball's still alive here though. Burge. Walsh is there. Can he get the handball out? He's dragged to the ground. And he'll have a ball up. Only 25 metres out from Lauderdale's goal, directly in front.
I think we've been pretty good with our Burges and our Walshes tonight, Breno. Haven't mixed them up yet. They look identical.
Havea got first juice, but Arnold now, and got it away to a teammate. Ball goes high in the air. Dangerous spot for the Magpies defenders, and the mark taken by Connors. So he'll look to bomb it long inside and does just that. Will go to the top of the square, fly from behind. Here's Burge. What can he do? Turned over by the Magpies. They go to ground again. Another ball up.
So 22 and a half gone in this second term. It will be a long quarter due to that hold up with the Hayden Smith injury. We believe it's a right ankle for Hayden Smith. So we are in Lauderdale attacking 50. Right forward pocket. Looking for their 5th goal of the evening. Havea to do the ruck work up against Cleary, his direct opponent. Cleary attempts to shovel it out to a player in geared. He was swung with the footy. Umpire said play on. It bobbles out to Arnold, who sends a high ball attempting to exit the defence. Connors gathered the footy. He was just worked over the line by Dilger. A couple of peroxide blondes running around for the Pies tonight.
Ever had that through your hair, Chris?
No, actually. I never went the peroxide blonde. I didn't quite have the Slim Shady phase. Not in looks, at least. Siggins was really crafty in the ruck, worked his man underneath it, gathered the footy and gained some pretty good territory in the end. Havea had to go down a long way. Eventually scooped up the ball, tapped it out to a teammate. That was really well done, Havea. Burge got it on the boot. High ball to a dangerous spot. Working hard, couldn't quite fashion something. Williams will be first to it here. Still dangerous here. Lauderdale. Oakes. Inside 50, centering ball. Burge underneath it, just misjudged it, as did Walsh. Sutton gathers on the loose footy, snap around the corner, bouncing, hits the behind post. So Glenorchy defence under siege, but they're holding up so far.
Wednesday night footy here at KG5, TSL round 12. Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you're watching us on the live stream. In the ball comes again. Attacking end of the ground for Lauderdale. Heavey. Going through as a teammate though, been Tilly. Now at the back, boot to ball. It's going to race to the boundary. Heavey can't control it, and it goes out of bounds. As we said, an important game this one for Glenorchy. If they lose, it's just about season over. Got a game against North Hobart here, and then North Launceston next week. As it comes in again. Geared gets a little toe poke forward. Connors trying to get the ball out. Geared's in there as well, but Siggins does well in the end. Gets it off. Heavey. Now coming through is Bell Chambers, right on the paint at 50. Gets it off to Burge. Tilly. Held up. And now Oakes gets it inside. Mark not taken. Lauderdale under siege here from the Glenorchy defence. Raglione gets it. Boots a ball. Just went past Siggins. Glenorchy defenders do well again to get it out of danger. It goes high in the air to the wing now. Bell Chambers is there. Now McGuinness. Handballs backwards. Tucked under the arm. And that might be holding the footy. It is. So Will Francis, just a little bit of strife there. They're away here now, the Magpies. Rainbird without the helmet goes to the paint at 50, but it's punched away and a boundary throw in.
Gee, they did well there, Glenorchy, to just absorb, and eventually win the ball outside of defensive 50, and then a holding the ball free kick. That was really good pressure, I thought, from Glenorchy. Now they have a chance to attack deep into this first half. Bill Chambers goes for a spell, a well-earned one too. He's had it on a string tonight for the Bombers. Down in the ruck, Siggins is looming over the pack. Cries the ball. Umpire says, no thank you. I'll have it please. So Siggins now into the ruck in the absence of Hayden Smith, straight down to Rundle, who just fashioned something forward. Daly's dangerous in these situations. Tumbler towards goal. Gee, that would have been something, but it's across the face and just tumbles into the left behind post. So deep into the first half, Glenorchy 2-7-19, trailing Lauderdale 4-4-28. They have cut the margin. It was 17 points at quarter time. Still very, very much in this game. It is well and truly game on. Working his way through there was Rainbird, trying to just bustle his way through about 6 Lauderdale players. That might be holding the ball. Umpire said no.
Yeah, particularly with that man down now for the Bombers. Glenorchy absolutely right in this contest. Scoring shots the same too, just about right. 9 shots to 8, so pretty even. Goals have dried up, but the scoring hasn't as far as points go.
Sutton here, got it off to Connors, who just sends a high ball to no man's land. There's a 2-man race on the wing. The Lauderdale player will win out. Missed Heavey with the handball, but he's got Havea deep if he can gather the footy. Did so. Had to concede back to Williams. Short poke pass is a good one. Here's McGuinness, who's floated forward. Chance to kick his second. And this would be a late dagger and would repay the favour that Glenorchy paid Lauderdale on the quarter-time siren when Zach Webster drilled that goal from a tighter angle than this. But the same end, McGuinness has a chance for a little bit of payback. So McGuinness, a pretty reliable kick, one of the stars of this competition, ambles on in, and oh my word, you have not seen the commentator mockers like that. That was a pure, unadulterated shank from one of the best kicks in the land.
He can't believe it either. Hands on the head, Joshy McGuinness. You have a feel for him there.
The score registered for Lauderdale. 4-4-28 at the main break. The Bombers, Glenorchy 2-7-19. They did well. They cut the margin back to 11 points in that second term. But the story here tonight, Brent Costello, is a sad one. Hayden Smith has suffered a season-ending injury and potentially a 12-monther with a horrible right ankle injury in the early stages of this second term. The big, much-loved Lauderdale ruckman is out of the game and you would think won't feature in their finals run.
No, I don't think so. We had a good look through the binoculars, as you said, Rowan. It didn't look good. So that's a real bad one for the Bombers. So important to them. So important tonight as well. Seen Sam Siggins forced into the ruck to replace him. So a lot to play out in this game still. Big second half coming up. Lauderdale 4-4-28, Glenorchy 2-7-19. We'll take a break here on the live stream and be back with a big second half of Wednesday night footy really soon.
Rainbird.
He's lost the helmet too.
He's lost the helmet.
With the footy is Will Francis. It's a dangerous kick from Francis. Goes straight down the throat of the Glenorchy fixture of this Glenorchy side for a while now. Directly in front, 40 metres out. Makes no mistake, and the Pies are back. 4-2-26 now to 2-5.
Second term really well.
Look pretty relaxed, Darren Winter, running up after the quarter-time huddle. May not be as much now.
Bobbles outside of defensive 50. They just edge it forward here to Lauderdale. That was a high tackle on Roberts. Coming from Oakes, who, roved it beautifully, got boot to ball.
Goal umpire's running out here. Chat to the field umpire.
Been called a behind here, but he has it middle of KG5. Right foot kick, flares things towards half forward, looking for Deegan, who just collected his man on the way down. Umpire said fantastic on a Wednesday night, that's for sure.
Entertaining, I've been told.
Webster has it inside 50, go the Pies G2. Lauderdale plays friendly fire, the big fist came across. Here's Goodsell. He just drives it in once again to a dangerous spot. All Lauderdale, though, more friendly fire. They just keep getting in each other's way. Here's Belcher.
And then all hell's broken loose since, unfortunately, for them. Heavey dragged down, and that is not a free kick. It's like, I think it was Bryce Walsh that might have copped one high.
In Manson, off the deck, kick towards goal, scrambling forward the Bombers. This one hits the post. So starting to press now. And Havea had to go down a long way. Eventually scooped up the ball, tapped it out to a teammate. That was really well done, Havea. Burge got it on the boot high. Ball to a dangerous fashion, something forward. Daly's dangerous in these situations. Tumbler towards goal. Gee, that would have been something, but it's across the face and just tumbles into the Havea deep, if you can gather the footy. Did so. Had to concede back to Williams. Short poke pass is a good one. Here's McGuinness, who's floated forward. Chance to kick his
Welcome back to King George V Oval here in Glenorchy for Wednesday night TSL. And at half-time, it is the visiting team, Lauderdale, 4-4-28 to Glenorchy, 2-7-19. They may be winning on the scoreboard, Chris Rowbottom, but they have been dealt a massive blow in this game and potentially the rest of the season with their ruckman, Hayden Smith, leaving the ground on a stretcher after what appeared to be a very, very nasty ankle injury.
Yeah, really sad news for the Lauderdale Footy Club and for Hayden Smith, of course. If you're just tuning in and joining us for second half action here at KG5, the big Lauderdale ruckman Hayden Smith is out for the game and probably the final series and perhaps longer too, with a really, really nasty ankle injury. He fell or was shoved potentially awkwardly in the middle of the ground. It sort of happened out the back of a ruck contest as the ball was cleared from the area. Neither of us actually saw it live. If you're watching on the stream, if you were watching on the stream, you might have caught the replay, but it seemed relatively innocuous. But from what we were able to see here in the box at KG5, the injury certainly wasn't good, and Hayden Smith will be expected to miss quite a number of weeks. So that's the bad news for Lauderdale. The good news is they are leading this game, although Glenorchy did make some inroads. It was a 17-point margin at quarter time. They cut it back to 9 at the half, and they certainly had the better of that second term. It seems to be the kicking end, the right of your screen, the Glenorchy City end, I suppose you'd call it. And they have kicked 2-7, so haven't been quite able to take full toll on the scoreboard. They had multiple chances, haven't been able to quite reel in the deficit. Lauderdale will now be kicking to that end, though, in this third term. But well and truly, a game on our hands, Brent Costello.
Tell you what, you look around and see the players in their tracksuits for Glenorchy tonight. Daniel Joseph down there, Ben Camrick, saw Reece Mott floating around earlier. Jay Bowden obviously not playing tonight. Just superstars everywhere. Aiden Grace.
Yeah, missing a few, aren't they?
The Pies had their full team out all year out there. Very, very hard to beat, I reckon.
Bombers without a few as well, though. There was a couple of late changes. Kalkowski and Richmond, the two, replaced by Burge and Williams. So we are back underway here for the second half of this Wednesday night clash. KG5 Walsh attempted to win the first clearance, but instead it ended up in the arms of Arnold, who made good use of the footy, getting Glenorchy forward. But it's in Lauderdale hands now. Bombers push forward. It's a good chop-off mark taken by Blowfield, who's been handy tonight across half-back for the Magpies. I've liked his game. He kicks out wide to his teammate in Nicholson, who's found a little bit of the footy too. And he goes out a little further to Webster. He's been involved, kicked a clutch goal on the quarter-time siren, did Webster, and he's been fairly prominent in a couple of little skirmishes as well throughout the evening as they just control the footy a little here, the Pies. Arnold, middle of the ground now. Here they come out. Here's Blowfield, who's found some space on the commentary wing. Short ball isn't a good one. He'll have to make his teammate work, and it could affect the turnover. In fact, it does. So a poor skill error. Nelson got it back to his teammate. Bombers drive it long off half-back. Good contest at half forward here, Burge and Webster. Burge won the day, fed up a handball to Nelson, who sent a tumbling ball towards goal. It bounces across the face through for a minor score. First score of the second half, 4-5-29. The Bombers, Glenorchy 2-7-19. 10 points the margin, early doors, third term.
Decent crowd in for a Wednesday night here at KG5. The rain has stopped, but still slippery conditions out on the ground for the players to contend with as the Pies bring it back in. Daly takes the nice mark. Tries to spot a target and does. It's Brady Simpson with the football. One of these young players in the team tonight. He flirts with the boundary, but Roberts manages to take the mark. Trying to find an option. Rainbird crying for the ball, but he decides to go a little longer. 2-on-1 contest in the end. Arnold's there, wrapped up in the McGuinness tackle. And the umpire says, I'll have it. So an even 10 points is the margin here at KG5. Up it goes. Havea had it all on his own, down to Siggins. Former Adelaide Crow gets it. And the kick's gone down the throat of Cleary. Back in this team after spending some time in Victoria. Geared takes the mark. Not a lot on offer for him at this stage. Told to hurry up and does. Goes to half forward. And ball will bounce out for a boundary throw-in. So the scoring's dried up a bit. Opening quarter had a few goals, but they've been pretty lean since. Had a lot of behinds go through.
Just about to say, the first goal of this third term is a big one, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to break the deadlock.
So Walsh has it. Goes right tight to the boundary. Nice mark from Webster. Heavy there on the mark, and Webster goes just outside the centre square. It bounces over the back in the end. There to mop up is Bell Chambers, but he fell over or slipped over. Umpires pinged him for holding the footy. So Glenorchy now will have that potential first goal we just spoke about. Looks like it'll be Dilger that will get the footy. 2:21s there on the screen, of course. So
big moment, this.
It is a big moment. As we say, the goals have been few and far between in this game.
Oh, there's Webster just running past.
So Richie Dilger with the footy. He goes short. What's he got on offer? Wasn't a great choice in the end, but Roberts is there. Gets the handball away, running through. That's a shot on goal, but it's right across the face and missed a lot out on the full.
Might have been Williams there on the burst. So Lauderdale ball. Deep in defence. And it comes. One kick, clear defensive 50. The two ruckmen will contest the footy. Deegan and Havea. So wrenching it out of there was Oakes, only as far as the Glenorchy player in Brennan, who backtracks. Weaving through traffic now. There's a spare man here at half forward, Webster. He goes inside 50. Dangerous ball to a dangerous spot. Punch came from behind. It was a pretty good one from Poland. Mopping up again, though, this Lauderdale defence. They kick up the spine. Gee, Ben McGuinness just took Arnold for a ride. Cleary mopped up the loose footy. Sent one inside 50 once again. Connors. Gets it across to a teammate. And again, they'll settle here. Bell Chambers now out of defence again. Had a lot of the footy tonight as Bell Chambers. Kick down the middle looking for Burge. Into the arms of Brennan. Kick forward again. Is chopped off by that man who's been prominent tonight, Baker. Across he goes to Poland. And he goes short to McGuinness. He'll go short again. So just controlling the footy here, Lauderdale. Again, that first goal of this third term, all important. Up the line it goes. The rookie player was just worked underneath it, though, to end up in Lauderdale hands. Williams just scraps one forward. Brennan might have been holding the ball. Umpire said no. Siggins took on the tackler. Fed out a handball eventually. Two Lauderdale players both wanted the footy. Sutton over the ball. Scrapped out again. It's scrappy stuff here on the outer side. Eventually it's picked up by Shaw, who finds a short target in Siggins, who's had to play a little bit of ruck tonight for obvious reasons. He goes inside 50 now. Cleary got to the front. Poland's a long way from home. Receives the ball. Out to Connors. Here's Oakes. Left foot ball inside 50. Not his finest. Bounces on its end. Gutzel was first there. Didn't attempt to bend down and pick it up. Just tried to toe poke it forward. And I'll get out here, although Walsh was there for company, but the sure hands have geared. So Geared has also been one of the major ball winners tonight. Has it at right half back. Kick up the line now for Glenorchy. Play just stagnating here. His arm wrestle unfolding. Still just 10 points the margin.
Yeah, a goal would be nice, right? Just to lift our spirits.
Certainly would.
So we await the ball in. Deegan and Siggins in the ruck. One down by Deegan on that occasion. Umpire's blown the whistle here. Looks like it's a Lauderdale free kick. Geared not happy with that at all. But the Bombers will have it. Kick forward by Fergus Kenny, who we like the look of. Siggins now.
The long hair's popular, isn't it?
It is at the moment.
Amongst the
Wish I could do that.
Generation.
Inside 50.
Yeah,
Marked by Cleary.
even a genie with 3 wishes, I'm not sure would be able to grant that one for you, Brent Costello. It'd be a tall order granting you those luscious locks.
Siggins is there. Webster's on his tail. And the ball goes to the boundary. So we are at a stalemate here at the moment. When was the last score, Chris? I can't remember. It was a while ago.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that Josh McGuinness shot on the siren, was it? Because that was out of bounds on the full.
Jeez, he's up on the great man.
Gee,
Puts one foot wrong for the night and you're in his grill.
You pump a man up. You've got to take the good with the bad. This defensive unit's been sublime. Here he is. I'm sure the use will be better here. It is by hand this time. A little one to a teammate in Poland who's just been really good off half-back. This kick not his finest. Webster, good enough to ride the tackle. Handball wasn't his finest though. Turned it over to Oakes, who sends Lauderdale inside 50. Havea on the lead. Couldn't quite reel it in. At ground level now. Havea goes in again. Gets rid of his opponent. Handball out. Kick wasn't 15 to Sutton. Fed it out to Oakes. Missed his boot. Webster tries to just work it to a teammate underground. Unable to do so. Siggins now with the footy. Tucks it under his arm. Releases a teammate by hand. Centering ball. Another missed target. It's all over the place here at KG5. Roberts taken the ground as he kicked the footy. Out of defensive 50 now. Another high ball inside. Unable to be taken. Heavey was taken off the ball. And that's a free kick for holding the man.
There we go.
Glenorchy fans don't like it, but that was absolutely there.
Oh, good salt. Probably messing with the wrong bloke there.
Yeah, that's a mismatch. Havea just says, if I wanted to.
It's a Webster.
Hang on a second.
Free kick. Okay, well, Glenorchy have the ball.
Well, I missed that, Breno.
We're too busy carrying on.
I thought that was a Heavey free. He was clearly taken out of the contest. It must have been something I missed. Anyway, we soldier on. Scrappy footy at half back here for the Pies. Out it comes, McGuinness to Sutton. A little pitching wedge into the middle of the ground. Oakes takes the mark. Middle of KG5.
He does. Been a good inclusion this year, Nathan Oakes, for the Bombers. Good, well done. Sorry, Deegan, in fact. Now Dilger throws it to half forward. Players fly everywhere. Out the back. Trying to juggle the ball is Baker, who's brought to ground, and will have a ball up. So that 10-point margin remains intact, 4-5 to 2-7. We've gone just over 11 minutes in this third quarter. See Sam Siggins in the ruck there against Deegan. Clever little tap from Deegan onto the boot of Rainbird. Bouncing ball, but the Lauderdale defence is there to mop up through Poland. Just takes his time. Dodges a couple of Glenorchy defenders and puts the ball into the middle here. Mark not taken. Now Glenorchy get it back. Brennan, can he control it? He can. He gets it back. Still going here, trying to juggle the footy, but Sutton comes through. He's brought to ground. And there's your man, Chris Rowbottom.
There's Don Brown. There he is.
So, umpire...
Haven't had a chance to call him yet. He hasn't been in the thick of it, it's fair to say.
It's just like his brother running back with a number 50. Now Lauderdale have it. Kenny, our man. Deegan was there. Brennan on the boundary, and another boundary throw in right in front of us here in the commentary position at KG5 on a Wednesday night. Last of these midweek games. We've had 3 this season. North Lonnie and Lonnie, and the Tigers and North Hobart, and now Glenorchy and Lauderdale to wind us up. Here's Daly. Just stays inside the centre square. There is that man, Dom Brown, but Lauderdale have the footy. Wrapped up for another ball up, so certainly not one we'll watch back with great excitement this quarter, Chris Rowbottom.
No, not one for the highlight reel, but don't go anywhere. You never know what could happen. This game could break open at any moment, and the man to do so could be Callan Daly. Left foot ball inside 50. A dribbler wasn't his finest. McGuinness under the pump, swung in the tackle, got his kick away. Still in a dangerous spot here for the Bombers. Rundle couldn't collect it on the way through. Nelson could. High ball into the middle of the ground. Big fist came from Goodsall. Work forward now for Lauderdale. Can Burge get on the end of one? Managed to trap the footy, went to ground, fed a handball back. Left foot ball inside 50. Cleary just met it with his knee. And it goes out of bounds. It's half a call for out on the full. But it looked like thigh to me. It'll be a throw in. Left half forward now for the Bombers. Who can conjure something? Who can just pull something out of the hat? Sam Siggins certainly can at the best of times. Tumbler towards goal. Across the face. And another boundary throw in. Right forward pocket. Margin still 10 points. Lauderdale 4-5-29. Glenorchy 2-7-19. 14 minutes gone. Third term. Game up for grabs. KG 5. Glenorchy final still on the line for them. In the congestion. Can Williams get a shot on goal? Fed it out to Sutton. Normally a decent finisher. Across the face this time. Contest on the goal line. Spills out towards the boundary. And it's seen over by Nelson. So another stoppage here. Deep into attack for the Bombers. Boundary throw in. Dewy conditions. Wednesday night footy. KG 5. TSL stream. Geared.
Falcon there.
Spun in the tackle. Out it comes to Walsh. High ball now. Who can get underneath it and take the mark? Big fist came. Ground level now. Nobody able to win a clean possession. Still they go. Burge. Oh, that was magnificent one-handed pickup. Spin move to his lookalike in Walsh. Around the corner. Goal of the night. There it is. And if one man was going to break this game open, it was probably going to be Bryce Walsh. Terrific finish, but it was set up by some class off the deck from Sam Burge. That'll get the blood pumping Brent Costello.
Well, hopefully that opens the floodgates. But you're right, Ro. That was a piece of excellent play from Burge, the late in tonight, of course. And then, as you called it so well, the lookalike in Bryce Walsh gets the goal. And that's what you want from your skipper. Slotting the goal and breaking this game open after what's been a stalemate. Goals at a premium since quarter time, really. But Lauderdale now skip out to a 16-point lead. So, finally, the deadlock is broken. And hopefully we'll see a few more highlights now, and Lauderdale will go again. Here's Sutton, drives it long inside 50. Players fly. Havea's out the back. He's got Cleary to deal with. Oakes just went past the footy. Havea again. Turns a few inside out. Looks at goal. And the floodgates are open now at KG5.
Oh, the big man just parted the seas, didn't he? That was fantastic. Get out of my way, he said. You need a circuit breaker. I'm your man.
How about that? No goals for
2 in a minute.
5 days, and we've got 2 in a minute.
Yeah, and Bryce Walsh, Tute Havea, if you were to frame a market, they would have been right at the top of the favourites, wouldn't they? Two to kick the goals. He's just a force of nature.
Well, they've kicked 2 for the night, Glenorchy, and they now trail by 4. So you think it'll be pretty tough from here for the Magpies. Plenty of time left, though, Chris Rowbottom.
They need to launch something, and maybe they can here through Deegan out of the middle of the ground. Getting in the hole, though, of course. That man, McGuinness, whose kicking hasn't been great tonight, let's be honest. He turns this one over to the ruckman in Deegan. Immediately passes it off by hand to Rainbird, who gets to 55 metres and launches a long ball, but sitting underneath at Poland, who's been exceptional tonight.
Team of the year.
He's been very, very good. Those defenders who defend with the best of them and also have an attacking string to their bow are so eye-catching and so valuable. And he looks to be one of those. Been very good. Here's Bell Chambers. Still in defence here for the Bombers. Poland again. He will take the game on. You know this. Left foot ball, middle of the ground. Picked out an opponent, but somewhat fortuitously bounced off the shin of Webster. Rundu ends up with the footy. Little one inside 50. That might have been Brown who scooped it up and just fed his man on the way past. Here's Daly swinging out of a tackle. Broke one, broke two. Bill Chambers got one high. He'll want to play on though, and he does. Good kick to the leading Bryce Walsh, who's been very good tonight as well. And these two link up again. Burge takes the chest mark at centre-half back. Middle of the ground now, the Bombers. You sense they're building. Looking to get some speed on the game. That kick isn't a great one. Siggins will have to go and chase after it. Just worked his man off it, provided the Shepherd was too strong for his younger Glenorchy opponent. Inside 50 now from Oakes. Spots up a target. Good play, Bombers. And now they're just starting to get a little loose and a little free as Heavey gets on the end of one. And he'll have a shot for goal for the third Bombers major. I'd say the last 5 minutes or so dominated this patch, and they can extend this lead.
Yeah, they have. Take you back to the other end of the ground, though. That little piece of play from Cal Daly. He is an excitement machine.
He is. He certainly is. A little human highlight reel. Heavey. Tightish angle. Distance won't be a drama. Sends it on its way. Umpire working. It's across the face, so a minor score.
What have Glenorchy got? They're behind the 8 ball now. 23-point margin deep into this third quarter. Players form the pack, and now they're away here again, but it's cut off by the Magpies' defence, and they work it out of danger. Coming through, nice mark taken by Burge. He wants to play on quickly, gets held up and decides to centre the footy. Now Baker pushes it further afield to Poland, who's been brilliant tonight in defence. Big loss for the Tigers this season. Goes inside 50 once more, picked up by Walsh. Was he taken high? He was, and he'll have a shot after the siren. This is the third shot after the siren for the game.
Any stats gurus out there? Has it ever happened? 4?
I reckon David Ingram's watching on tonight.
4 shots after the siren, 1 after each buzzer. Have we ever seen that?
Bryce Walsh, this would make it really tough for Glenorchy if the Lauderdale captain Bryce Walsh can slot this. He'll kick from right on 50. The ball may not have the journey it does, and it falls well short. And that is three-quarter time here at KG5 Wednesday night TSL. It's Lauderdale edging out to a nice lead now, 6-6-42 to Glenorchy 2-7-19. Well, that was an interesting quarter, Chris. Stalemate there for the majority of it before Lauderdale kicked a couple in a row and have got themselves a nice lead at the last change.
Yeah, they just cracked it open there, didn't they? Bryce Walsh, who just had that shot on goal. He kicked the first one after a probably 15 or 16 minute patch of no goals, and then Havea, who just strolled on in and made no mistake. The margin now out to 23 points. It was only 9 points at halftime. Glenorchy were unable to score in that term, so Lauderdale certainly with the ascendancy, and all the scoring has been done to the right of screen. I'm not sure. Maybe one goal has been kicked.
Yeah,
at the left hand.
Fair point.
At the hill end of the ground, and that was that Zach Webster goal after the siren. So still in it, that's for sure. Glenorchy, they need a couple of quick ones to start the fourth and final term. But anything can happen in this game. Lauderdale by 23 points at the final change. 6-6-42, leading Glenorchy 2-7-19. Goal kickers for this evening. Havea has 3 for the Bombers. Walsh has 1. Tilley has 1. And McGuinness has 1. And for the Pies, just the 2 singles. 1 to Zach Webster and 1 to John Gear. We might take a short break before we come back and bring you the final term action here from KG5. See you shortly.
just outside the centre square. It bounces over the back in the end. There to mop up is Bell Chambers, but he fell over or slipped over. Umpires pinged him for holding the footy. So Glenorchy now will have that potential first goal.
Cracks. Weaving through traffic now. There's a spare man here at half forward, Webster. He goes inside fifth, Poland. Mopping up again, though, this Lauderdale defence. They kick up the spine. Gee, Ben McGuinness just took Arnold for a ride. Cleary. He goes inside 50 now. Cleary got to the front. Poland's a long way from home. Receives the ball. Out to Connors. Here's Oakes. Left foot ball inside 50. 50 now. Another high ball inside. Unable to be taken. Heavey was taken off the ball. And that's a free kick for holding the man.
There we go.
Still they go. Burge. Oh, that was magnificent one-handed pickup. Spin move to his lookalike in Walsh. Around the corner. Goal of the night. There it is. And if one man was going to break this game...
to deal with. Oakes just went past the footy. Havea again. Turns a few inside out. Looks at goal. And the floodgates are open now at KG5.
Inside 50. That might have been Brown who scooped it up and just fed his man on the way past. Here's Daly swinging out of a tackle. Broke one, broke two. Bill Chambers got one high. He'll want to play on, though. Younger Glenorchy opponent. Inside 50 now from Oakes. Spots up a target. Good play, Bombers. And now they're just starting to get a little loose.
Umpires defence, and they work it out of danger. Coming through, nice mark taken by Burge. He wants to play on quickly. Gets held. He's been brilliant tonight in defence. Big loss for the Tigers this season. Goes inside 50 once more. Picked up by Walsh. Was he taken high? He was. And he'll have a shot after the siren. This is the third shot after. Welcome back to KG5 final quarter action coming your way on a Wednesday night. Final Wednesday night game of the season. The Lauderdale players in position. Glenorchy just breaking from their huddle now.
Can they do it, Brent Costello? 23 points. And if so, how do they get there, the Pies?
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be tough. As we said earlier, only kicked the 2 for the game. They trail by 4, need 5 to win. So makes it a little bit tough from here, I think, particularly with that young side they've got in tonight, Glenorchy. So hard to see Lauderdale losing it from here, but stranger things have happened in footy.
Well, one thing's for sure, they need the first one because another one or one out of the middle here for Lauderdale would make it very, very hard indeed. But certainly alive, the Pies. Don't worry about that. 23 points is not insurmountable by any stretch. You never know your luck on a Wednesday night in Glenorchy.
As they say.
As they say in the classics. So an intriguing final quarter coming up here from KG5. Can Glenorchy reel Lauderdale in? Oh, the Bombers flex their muscle. Here we go. Walsh immediately goes after it for Lauderdale. Sutton will get there first. He's met solidly by Rundle, the veteran. We'll have another stoppage inside the centre square. Up it goes. Once again, Deegan just palmed it down. Out to Oakes now. He's immediately wrapped up. Couldn't win a disposal away. Arnold just reefed it out from underneath the pack. Out to Deegan, who just showed some poise. Went one way with the hands and then eventually sent a high ball inside 50 for Glenorchy. They need the first one here, as we mentioned. Ball comes out to Siggins, who was a little rushed. Out to Deegan again, who got underneath it. Couldn't hang on to the mark. Geared. Fed it out to Arnold. Short ball inside. Bill Chambers has been very, very good tonight, Brent Costello.
He has indeed. Usually is for the Bombers. Really has a bad game. Phil Bell Chambers. He goes to the wing. Kick goes straight over the head of Nelson. He gets it though in the end. Looks and opens the eyes and looks forward. Goes inside 50. Bouncing ball. And now Tilly throws it on the boot. And that looks pretty good. It's just offline. Minus score.
Yeah, he has one for the evening, and that was almost a little classy finish.
Yeah, enjoyed his work tonight. Young Tilly. Haven't seen a lot of him in the past, but yeah, looks the goods. So we wait the kick in. And it's still that margin as it was. In fact, it's not. We just had a point, Brent. So it is one less than it was at three-quarter time, as we see Rundle with the footy goes. The handball puts Arnold under a little bit of pressure, but does well to get out of danger. Only for the moment, though. Good overhead mark from Brennan. Hard to miss him with the hairdo. Looks for a teammate up on the wing. Ball flies through the hands. Here's Rundle again. Does well and shrugs a few opponents. Glenorchy go into attack. Might have been unfairly dealt with there. Cow Daly. No, Mark paid.
Yeah, it was a block. But he still took the mark. Did Shaw. McGuinness. Probably not in the votes tonight, McGuinness, but still another very solid game. Although there is still time, isn't there? He could turn it on in this last term. Long up the line he goes. Ooh. That's a fly.
Tilly again.
From Tilly, yeah. Couldn't drag it in. A late highlight. Ball just spinning on its axis. Players converge. It's all wrapped up on the outer wing.
Temperatures cooled off a little here at KG5 since we first arrived.
Certainly has. Walsh out the back of the stoppage. Handball inboard to Oakes. He's been okay tonight. He might have been held after he disposed of the footy, and he was. Rundle was on the breakaway, but he'll have to give the ball up. Ben McGuinness has been quiet as well, hasn't he, for Lauderdale? We haven't caught him at all tonight. Oh. Tilly takes a really nice mark over the back. Clean hands, and the calls of have a shot come from his teammates, so clearly they back him around goal. I know I've said it a couple of times, but in vogue, this hairstyle. They've got 3 or 4 running a very similar setup. Young Tilly and Poland from a distance certainly look alike with the sleeves and the long hair. He kicks from distance, sends it on its way and doesn't score.
Commentator's curse grabs Chris Rowbottom again tonight.
Touch deceiving.
Ball comes in. Nice mark taken by Geared. Looking for the option. Happy to take his time. Told to get on with it. Deegan was there. Siggins. And ball seen over. See the ambulance here at KG5. And that may be to come and collect Hayden Smith, who's been off the ground for some time. So that's taken quite a while to get the ambulance here. We'll get Chris Rowbottom to keep an eye on that as I call the play here. He's got the binoculars out, Robers. He will not miss a thing here.
Well, just looking out for something else. We're hearing potentially another Lauderdale injury. I was just trying to spy the Lauderdale bench, but we are dead behind a light tower here, so it's hard to see. We'll bring that
McManus
to you.
Might be in a bit of trouble, we think.
Yeah, we're hearing potential McManus shoulder.
So it's been a tough night at the office for Lauderdale. That one just overshot Bryce Walsh, and Glenorchy bring it out of defence again. It comes to the wing here. Dilger couldn't get the ball under his spell. Connors tries to centre the ball a little to his teammate in McGuinness. So Josh McGuinness with the footy at half-back for his beloved Bombers. Told to hurry up, and does. McGuinness looking for his brother. Just couldn't quite hang on to that mark. Walsh. And now Kenny. And now Nelson throws it on the boot, centres it. Mark taken by Heavey. Good vision. Nice mark. And Heavey now will go back and have a shot on goal. Slight angle, probably 35 metres out.
It was just good linking handball play, wasn't it? And then the little kick inside, not blazing away. Around the corner, spot up the short target. And Heavey has a very kickable shot on goal here.
Been a part of this Lauderdale outfit for a very long time, Alex Heavey. Kicking from directly in front. That's really nice off the boot. And the veterans got one back for his team. And the lead now is out to probably a match-winning one, Chris Rowbottom.
Yeah, it'll be a mountain to climb from here. Glenorchy, you'd need to kick 6 straight, you would imagine. And find that very, very hard to see. 2-7-19. In fact, they haven't kicked a goal since the second term, Glenorchy. In fact, they haven't registered a score since the second term. It's been one-way traffic since about halfway through that third term. There was a slight stalemate where it was locked at 10 points, but then Lauderdale put the foot on the gas, kicked a couple, and now they look like they're breaking away. And they go out of the middle of KG5 again here. Havea back to Heavey. Can he kick another in the space of a minute? Gee, he wanted one, but he was run down in the end. Cleary got him. You mentioned Heavey. He's been incredibly long-serving player, and I reckon even back to the Lauderdale junior days.
Yep, 100%.
I would like to know how many games in total he has played for the Lauderdale Footy Club.
I'm pretty sure he would have been running around when Mitch Robinson was for Lauderdale that long ago. He's been there a very, very long time indeed.
I can tell you it's been eons since I played junior footy, Brent, and I reckon I was running around with Alex Heavey in a similar grade.
I wonder if he remembers you.
I wouldn't have thought so. He might remember selling me some candy or running me down or something like that, but wouldn't remember any highlights, that's for sure. Away they go here, the Pies. Can they conjure just something, anything? Callan Daly's the man if they can.
Rainbird
takes a nice mark. Half forward. Short ball to Rainbird. We'll have to collect it on the bounce. Didn't take possession. Was dragged off the footy. Umpire said play on. Over it goes. So I know we've gone on about it, Brent, but this Lauderdale defence, to keep Glenorchy to just 2 goals while also providing that attacking drive has been very, very impressive. In it comes. Now the ruck geared. He's fought pretty hard tonight. Rainbird. He's just palming the ball against the turf. This will be an interesting call, holding the ball. Not sure what Rainbird was doing there. That was certainly the right call by the umpire. Nelson all on his own here.
An ambulance still here. We're not sure if it's here for Robin McManus, who we believe may have a dislocated shoulder, or Hayden Smith. But
I dare say Smith.
Or both.
Maybe both. Maybe both. Maybe McManus can prop up in the front seat while Smith takes the main carriage. If you're just joining us for the end of this game, Hayden Smith, Lauderdale ruckman, will be out for a significant amount of time with a really bad ankle injury. The ambulance is here at KG5. We haven't seen him emerge from the rooms just yet, however. Glenorchy still fighting hard here at KG5. Tall task for them, though. They trail by 5 goals.
You wonder how much pain Hayden Smith was in, because that's taken an extraordinary amount of time for that ambulance to arrive.
Yeah, I really feel for him. He was in the middle of the ground for, as we mentioned earlier, 7 or 8 minutes, and he's been in the room for 2 quarters just about. So,
fantastic work there from Tilly again. He's a little star.
He's handy, isn't he? He's done some really crafty things around goal tonight. He's had probably 3 or 4 shots. He's kicked 2. And he looks a player. 6-goal margin now. 2-7-19 Glenorchy. 8-7-55 Lauderdale. And you can just about bank the points, I would have thought.
That's a big call, Chris.
You think?
Yeah, 11 minutes gone and they're leading by, what is it, 36 points. I don't reckon they'll get back.
Late avalanche, perhaps. They have got the goal-scoring end, Brent, so you never know. The Pies.
That's true.
Here we go. Rundle, out of the middle. Off hands. Centre-half forward. Bombers with the numbers. Ball at ground level. Free kick. Chance for the Pies. Thompson goes inside 50 and picks out Rainbird in the forward pocket.
Why has he ditched the helmet? He started the game in the helmet and does not have the helmet on now.
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Imagine it's a comfort thing. I'm not sure why you'd start the game out wearing one in the first place. Right foot check sides off line from Rainbird. He's been sent forward.
So you just about think this is the end of Glenorchy's season. Unfortunately, with 2 games left to play, they probably had to win tonight to remain in touch with that top 4. They've got tough assignments coming up against, firstly, North Hobart off a short turnaround this weekend, and then next weekend a date with North Lonnie to finish the season. So hopefully we see Jay Bowden back. Daniel Joseph, it would have been a risk to play these sort of guys, I guess, with the short turnaround row.
Don't want to speculate too much on Jay Bowden, but we see him in Glenorchy colours next year, do you think, Brent?
I don't think so.
I don't know how local footy rumours and scuttlebutt works.
No, I think this might be his last season at Glenorchy. Rowan, what a servant he has been.
Well, he's the GOAT, isn't he? In certainly the modern TSL.
Absolutely. No one really gets near him with the resume. I mean, a lot of North Launceston players probably do, but 3 times winning a league best and fairest is a pretty extraordinary effort. Premiership player, captain, Hudson medalist as well. Done it all.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting for the Pies going forward. Life without Jay Bowden. I'm sure they'll replace him, of course. He is just one man. And here goes Burge inside 50 for the Bombers. Gee, off hands at the back. That was a nice bit of work. Right foot banana ball on goal is just missing. That would have been a good finish. Wasn't to be. Another minus score. But they have shown that they will back their youth. Glenorchy, not afraid to play the kids, that's for sure. Poland, he has been best on the ground for mine tonight.
Ferg.
Ball inboard to Ferg. Holding the ball. Umpire gets low. Pays a free kick to Reece Sutton, who has a chance to get his name in the paper.
Probably fair to say the sting out of this game, Chris.
Yeah, it's been over for quite some time now. 14 and a half gone in this final term. Lauderdale will bank the points here, but it has come at a cost. Hayden Smith, the big ruckman, out for the season. Ankle injury sustained in the second term. Sutton will kick from 50, sends it on its way. Looked okay off the boot, but it's just missing for a minus score.
Yeah, you're right, Ro. They get the 4 points, but gee whiz, it's going to hurt them moving forward. Unfortunately, that kick comes in, and under pressure here is a Glenorchy defence that's holding the footy.
Oh, no.
Taken high, was it?
Maybe in the back.
Anyway, it's a Glenorchy ball. Mark taken, intercepted by Tilly. It's been fantastic tonight, as we said earlier. Kicked a couple of goals. Gets the ball to McGuinness now. Ben McGuinness goes inside. Players fly for it. And now turning around, having a snap on goal. It is offline from Nelson. And they get another behind that takes them to 10 for the evening.
They're just peppering now, Lauderdale. And I guess it's important now for Glenorchy to... They're playing so many kids. Still try and get something out of this game. You still got to be accountable for your man. Still work hard both ways. Don't fall into those bad habits. Even though you're losing, you're getting beat. Maybe your season's gone.
Well, it was a really good question you posed before, Ro. What does life look like here at KG5 without Jay Bowden moving forward? It's a very good question.
The other one's Reece Mott as well. Is he back next year, or is he back into this team? Because he was sort of floating between here and the Northwest Coast. Not too sure. In it goes from McGuinness. And this man, Poland, has drifted forward. And he's, well, going to attempt to get on the goal kickers list. He's been an absolute star in defence tonight, Will Poland. I think, for mine, he's got the 3 votes in the bag. This would seal it for sure. Can go back and put this through. He's got an awkward kicking style. He just pushes this one to the near side. He misses, but...
I wonder if he's kicked a goal in TSL footy.
Not sure. He spent a lot of time in defence, but always a sign of party time, isn't it, when your full back gets forward?
Saw that with your Hawks the other day.
Oh, Strats, what a farewell that was. That's how you farewell your champs.
They do it well.
Geared. Through hands. Wobbly Luso kick to Blowfield. That's out of the full.
Burge, or yeah, it's Burge, isn't it? You're right. They look alike, him and Walsh. That kick goes and punched away from Arnold. So, dying embers of this game.
So, Lauderdale play again this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, or do they have the bye, Brent?
Lauderdale will have the bye, that is correct. Glenorchy front up against the D's on Sunday. Umpire's blowing the whistle here. And a free kick going to Lauderdale. Yeah, so short turnaround coming up for Glenorchy. Each team's been through it, except Clarence, I think. They're the only ones that haven't had a midweek game. So, looks like it's our man, right? Fergus Kenny will get the shot on goal.
Well, wouldn't this be something? And look at this mullet.
Well,
on Fergus.
I was going to say it's the best mullet in the TSL, but Jeremy Webley's got a pretty good one going at the moment as well.
It takes a good mullet to actually get kudos these days because there are so many.
Here's Kenny, throws it on the boot, and that is off to the right, minor score.
So some official word from the club coming through here. just around Hayden Smith, a probable broken ankle, so still just determining the exact injury that he's sustained. And Robbie McManus has a dislocated shoulder, so 2 big injuries for the Bombers out of tonight's win.
Here's a little snap. Very nicely done by Nathan Oakes. And it's game over here. Has been for a while. But Lauderdale will escape with the 4 points from KG5 tonight.
Yeah, they'll do it easy in the end. Glenorchy fought hard for a while. It was only 10 points the margin halfway through the third term. It's now out to 46, so I wonder what Paul Kennedy's messaging will be. Whether how much stock he can take from, I suppose, fighting for so long and having such a young, inexperienced side in, but on the flip side, having let it really get away now, and probably a couple of minutes left as well. Still time for maybe 1 or 2 more for the Bombers if they want them. But let's not discredit Lauderdale as well. They've been far superior side tonight, that is for sure, especially in this second half. And it's ironically came after Hayden Smith went down. Sam Siggins has gone into the ruck and held that position with aplomb. Heavey has got on the scoreboard.
Oh, good.
And this man, Havea, has been sublime. Too big, too strong, too good.
How would you like a build? I know you're well built yourself, Chris, but
please.
How would you like a build like that?
If I'm well built, then Tute Havea is Mr. Universe. He is something. This man really developed into a really reliable, good senior footballer. Havea, in he comes. Can he add a fourth? Umpire did not move a muscle. And Havea has 4. And we mentioned that Lauderdale might be able to sneak in a couple more and make this scoreline really ugly for Glenorchy, and that's the first of them.
Yeah, to think, what was the margin there? When we had that sort of 10 points, it was for so long, wasn't it? And look at that, 52 points now. That's really got away from the Magpies. 10 points for so long. Ambulance still here at KG5. Just open the back doors now, so stretcher coming out.
Yeah, they'd have to be super delicate, I'm sure, and make sure no further damage is done.
Yeah, long night ahead for poor old Hayden Smith. Umpire will call that back. So, looking ahead to the finals row, it's a different sort of setup this year. Just the 1 week of finals before the granny. 1v4, 2v3. Who do you like?
I think North Launceston are still the team, and we saw that last week. They just have the wood over this team. Lauderdale, who are one of the threats, and then of course you've got Launceston, who are absolutely capable and probably have the two of the best 3 or 4 players in the comp in Joby Harper and Dylan Riley at the moment. They're a fantastic football team, and I'm sure a lot of neutral supporters would like to see Launceston maybe upset the apple cart this year. But gee, North Launceston are just an irresistible football club, and a genuine chance to win number, what is it now? I've genuinely lost count.
I know.
Is it 5 or 6?
5 out of the last 6?
6 out of the last 7 it might be.
It might be 6 out, if it's this year, yeah. You're right. you just assume they're going to win it every. Look at this for a goal. So it was, 14 was there.
Yeah,
first.
I'm not actually being silly when I say I've lost count.
14-15, and then Glenorchy won 16.
And then 17, 18, 19. So, yeah, 20 would make it 6 out of 7.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. And there are a number of those who have 5 under their belt, and they keep coming back for more. There's the siren. 53 points, the margin in the end. Lauderdale way too good for Glenorchy. Wednesday night footy, 10-13-73. Glenorchy managing just the 2 goals for the night. A dirty night for the Pies, 2-8-20. All they managed to put on the scoreboard. A resounding win for Lauderdale, but as we've spoken about all throughout the stream, it has come at quite the cost. Hayden Smith, the ruckman, badly damaging, we believe it's a broken ankle. He'll be out for quite some time. And Robbie McManus was the other one we learned about late in the piece, a dislocated shoulder. We didn't catch sight of that one.
I wonder if it was that incident when the sort of the friendly fire incident.
It absolutely could have been.
Yeah.
You mention it. Yeah, good call. Yeah, there was some friendly fire, and that was just after the Smith incident, from memory.
Yeah,
so,
it wasn't long after. Yep.
So if we is what I think it is, some friendly fire claiming McManus and an innocuous one claiming Smith. So 2 big injuries for Lauderdale, but they'll absolutely take the points. As Darren Winter just wrestles with a recalcitrant gate on the way out of KG5.
The one he slammed
yeah, he probably
before.
He probably broke it half time. He makes his way out onto the ground.
How are you feeling right now? He gets the 4 points, a good win, 53 points, but he's lost 2.
Doesn't look like he's feeling good. He's cutting a very stern figure walking across KG5. I'm not sure. He'll be very happy with the win. I reckon he'll, judging from what we saw from him earlier, I think he'll have some things that he'll want his side to work on. I mean, we have to stress this Glenorchy team, and again, I've called them 3 or 4 times this year, and they 7 or 8 changes every week for this team, it seems.
Yeah, he's had no luck, Paul Kennedy, the coach.
Just so many outs, so it's not a 100% true reflection. Of course, Lauderdale have a few out themselves, and they had a couple of in-game injuries, so a wonderful win. But you would have to think, just off the back of last week's loss to North Launceston once again, there are still things to tweak for the Bombers, but I can't take anything away from them tonight. They were excellent. Havea was fantastic up forward. Poland was, for me, a cut above the rest. McGuinness was really good. Baker was fantastic.
Baker was great. Yeah.
Bell Chambers was good. Sutton was good on a wing. Walsh got really busy at one stage. And then a couple of their lesser-known types. Tilly was really good around goal. Kicked a couple of majors.
Alex Heavey came into the game really well too.
Did some nice things, just experience. Sam Siggins just did what Sam Siggins does. So a pretty good, well-rounded. Actually, they had a lot of contributors tonight. I will say that about Lauderdale. There wasn't many on the team sheet, just going through the list and having a look at the squad walking off that didn't get 5 or 6 touches and help the team out. As for Glenorchy, well, I think they had probably less contributors. Hard to find a winner, it must be said, across the park. I think Arnold was pretty good. Rainbird was okay. Daly was good. I think Geared was good. I thought Blowfield was okay across half-back. But aside from that, lesser types. Meredith and Simpsons and Thompsons, Williams.
Didn't you say you had the early start in the morning, Chris? You're going to run through the whole squad? Just give us a blow-by-blow.
Probably needed a little bit more out of them, Brent.
That's the voice of Chris Rowbottom. Brent Costello here as well. We've really enjoyed bringing you this game tonight. It was all the Bombers in the end here for the final Wednesday night game of the season. We've got 2 rounds remaining in the TSL before we hit finals. And we look forward to bringing it to you on the live stream. Hope you enjoyed the coverage tonight. We'll see you next time.